Oh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, can you feel it? The adrenaline rush of another podcast night here, coming to you live from the On the Money Sports Lounge and Casino, kicking back, relaxing for a major event, because this week, coming to you live, is one of the main foundational traditions of this podcast from the very inception, from year one. Every single year, we go back, we get ourselves prepared for what's about to happen, because as you know, the draft is 20 days away. So On the Money Sports, the team that stays ahead of the storm, is going to bring you the ninth annual? It's gotta be 9, right? 8th or 9. We're 8 and 9 in between there. The 9th annual O Money Mock Draft Special Edition on podcast night here live. I can't wait. I'm excited. I have all my teams lined up. I've got my pen, I've got my pad, my notes, kicking back, watching a little bit of baseball, coming to you live from the On the Money Sports Complex with Brett and Sean in the background, because yes, it is also WrestleMania week. It's a very, very eventful week here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Money, how are we feeling? How are you feeling about your...
Good. I just got to make sure I got the volume down.
Your 9th annual O Money Mock Draft. You look back on the years. We're getting ready to almost celebrate the 10th year anniversary.
Those things, but some of them I printed on copy where, like I printed them off of computers. Don't know where I put the papers. Some are in notebooks that are still around here. I need to do a better job. I'm terrible when it comes to things of that nature.
Well, when you're doing the whole redecorating and moving stuff around and shuffling, sometimes the notebooks get lost
from one house to another house to another house to the old studio.
That's why I did my bet. I brought my notebook here. I got my pen. I'm ready to write down everything that goes down here tonight on this mock draft to keep track of what we basically are booking for the 2025 draft.
I mean, hey,
which is going to lead into the summer and
I called the Broderick Jones pick a couple of years ago. The Steelers picked them.
Yeah, you get a few right.
I picked a couple last year.
You get a few right.
I still never had Bo Nix so early in my draft.
There's a high chance that you're going to get the Steelers pick right in a lot of these mocks, because you're going to focus.
They're going to do something, and I'm not going to like it, man.
Yeah, I came here tonight. I came here in my Derrick Henry Titans jersey with the Elite 8 championship, just wanting to know that the Tennessee Titans are going to do the right thing in your eyes with this mock draft here tonight live. Like, are we going to just make the pick, or are we going to, because you got to understand, I am a victim of the A.J. Brown trade on draft night. So, when a lot of people are getting all excited for draft night, I'm hearing the bombs and the alarms going off in the back of my mind, and the machine guns. It's not the same feeling for all of us on draft night. And now here we are going into a draft where we're going to be the 101, and there's a lot of reasons to be excited about that. But there's a part of me that just feels like, I have to use the bathroom. I'm a little nervous for what I'm about to witness.
I mean, the consensus is it should be Cam Ward. He's only the only quarterback you would use the number 1 spot on.
Well, what else are we going to do? Draft Travis Hunter?
I mean, it's happening. It's real. We are a week out tomorrow night. The NFL annual draft.
Wait, it's not tomorrow night.
Yeah, we're a week out from tomorrow night.
You're right. A week from tomorrow. We'll be at B-Dubs.
Next Thursday.
Maxing and relaxing.
We're going to be sitting back, either happy about what our teams do or pissed at what our teams do. Some guys want their teams to trade back. Some want their teams to trade up. Some booked a family vacation and forgot all about us.
I booked my vacation before the draft, so I will be back in time. I did it right. All right. I did it right. I booked the vacation before. We'll be in Florida this weekend for Easter weekend. And I will be back in time for the draft. We'll be at B-Dubs maxing and relaxing. And like he said, ready to sit back and watch what our team is going to do. Ready to either feel really good about it or ready to just pay our tab 15 minutes into getting there. because we're a top pick. And that's the crazy thing. A lot of us fans who are waiting to see what our teams are going to do are not going to have to wait very long because of the fact that a lot of us are picking in the top. We are some of the top picks in this year's draft, so you're going to find out right away. Even if your team is trading back, you're going to find out right away within the first 20 minutes of the show. We'll find out if you're either going to use that pick or it's just going to be straight chaos and anarchy across the board.
We'll find out because the Titans are just crazy at times.
Yes, we are.
You know,
that's part of our DNA.
As of right now, no team has made a trade. All draft positions are still as they are. The top three, as they've been since the NFL season ended, is the Titans, Browns, Giants. Right behind them is the Patriots, Jags, Raiders, Jets, Panthers, Saints, and Bucks. Wait, not Bucks, Bears to round out the top 10.
The Bears.
There's going to be a lot of interesting picks. It's going to be interesting to see if Shador falls or Shador stays high. Do the Giants still select Shador? Because, spoiler alert, I didn't pick Shador for the Giants in my mock draft.
Okay. All right. You got him going elsewhere, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I still have Shador in the top 10, though.
All right.
And I also have Jackson Dart getting drafted as well in the first round.
Yeah, Shador's going to be one of the more interesting topics as far as the draft because of everything that has come out.
What's up, Chris?
Like, about him. And, it feels like what's come out about him have been all the reasons why you shouldn't draft him, which is one of those things where it's like, as we get closer to the draft, it's like, all right, how much of this is real and how much of it is just,
what up, Paul?
Trying to play keep away for the most part, just so that you have the opportunity to just kind of snag him up. Chris just landed back. Welcome back home. Hope all is well with you. Hope you had a good time wherever you were. Glad for you to kick back and join us on tonight's podcast. Yearly tradition of what we've got going on the pod here with the Old Money mock draft. On top of the fact that it is WrestleMania week, so we'll be throwing a couple of predictions out there as far as what we think is going to happen with this 2-night spectacle. That is WrestleMania, Extravaganza, Mania Palooza. And then in true fashion, in true honor of WrestleMania week, we're sitting here watching the finish of one of the most highly discussed Mania matches and main events in history, the Mania 12 Iron Man match between none other than Bret the Hitman Hart and Shawn Michaels. Catching the end of this, Earl Hebner in the ring. The same referee that will be in the ring for the infamous Montreal Screwjob, which would be the next time that these two men would get in the ring together.
I talked to him before the match, and he swore on his children he wouldn't screw me.
18 months of not having a match. It's like 18 months, bro, for them to actually get in the ring together after this.
That's crazy.
They should have had plenty
I watched them wrestle.
What, live?
Yeah, and
That's
a triple threat match.
That's awesome.
With Sid.
I wish I would have seen that.
It was Sid, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. The day of Super Bowl Sunday where the Patriots got obliterated by the Green Bay Packers. Brett Favre's Super Bowl championship.
That was a Super Bowl where Drew Bledsoe and them went up 14-0, and they managed to lose 35-21.
Yeah.
That was crazy. His first two drives, just bringing it down like bullet, just taking it down the field, bro. Like the Patriots, like they were about to make it happen. That was the first Super Bowl that I watched from start to finish.
Same here.
That was the first one that I watched from start to finish. That was when
I got mad and stopped watching the Steelers game because I got pissed.
That was the first Super Bowl party that I fully embraced as I was 8 years old. That's when it was like starting to get like it was starting to click in my mind. I was like, okay, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
You get the commercials, you get the game. This is the championship. Like I need to appreciate this right here.
I agree.
It was really like that was a big one. Patriots versus Packers Super Bowl was a big deal for me. We're talking about 1997. our favorite year of WWF. You know, and it was a really, really good time.
It was better than 98, whether
everything was
anybody wants to
happening.
admit it or not.
98 was great, but 97 kind of shaped the way for what 98 was going to become. Spring is in full effect. WrestleMania is soon. And like Stevie B, I want to be the one to say Charlotte is winning and Seth Rollins wins with help from Heyman. Oh, boy. So you're thinking that this favor turns into a Paul Heyman heel turn and Seth walks out of the triple threat match victorious, which I've been saying Seth needs to win one. He already lost to Punk. Like, Seth needs a big one. You know, he was able to curb stomp both of them, but he hasn't been able to get a big win in a little bit. And the architect deserves a big win at WrestleMania. You know,
they're gonna get stacked
just for coming out and just for getting punched in the mouth last year in the Shield gear and doing nothing and actually getting legitimately punched where he had a black eye. Seth deserves himself a big win over Roman Reigns, over CM Punk.
Stacked and pinned.
Charlotte Flair winning, that's just straight up heel heat right there. That's just go home, go away type heat if she ends up beating, you know, Tiffy Stratton. That would kind of suck.
Punk and Rollins are getting stacked and getting
Punk
pinned.
and Rollins
1, 2,
by
3.
the Tribal Chief.
The Tribal Chief is leaving WrestleMania with the one in the sky.
You got to remember, guys, as creative and as lucrative as some of the predictions you have, as some of the ideas that you have for finishes for Mania, WWE is going to give you some of the most predictable finishes in a lot of these matches. Like, you are just going to get the predictable
you heard what Triple
ending.
H said the other day. I don't care what the internet thinks.
Good.
It was like they're a small fraction of our fan base.
Because, you know,
I was like, oh, shit.
Because you know who cares too much about what they think? That other company.
What up, Sean? What's up, Mike?
Sean, what's up, bro? Mike D, what's going on?
Sean,
We're
good.
filing in.
Congratulations on just taking the risk and going for it, making Pack Street your shit.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. Cheers to you, my friend.
Heck yeah.
Cheers to you.
Nothing but success for you, brother.
You put the work in, you know, and you deserve it. You deserve nothing but the best, bro. Putting that work in, and it's going to pay off, and it's going to be worth it.
Lord knows I got to start selling my stuff. Woo.
But when you choose to, you know that you're going to be well off.
Well, the stuff there ain't getting sold.
Yeah, we know. Bro, you're more of a collector, bro. Like, you got to be realistic. You're more of a collector, dude. You know what I mean? You see something and
damn. Some of the figures fell. I got to fix that.
The massive display of Nostalgia Mania. Mike D checking in. Couple minutes late, but it's all good. Glad that you're tuned in.
No, listen, I'm going to give you props because you built towards it. You set up towards it. And, bro, You're doing it.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's what it's all about. You put the work in, dog. You had the mind for it. And now you're getting the fruits of your labor, baby. And we're glad that you're tuned in tonight. We're glad that you're tuned in tonight because we're running the mock draft. It's WrestleMania week. There's a lot that's going on, a lot to be excited about. And, you know, this is for the first time in a little bit on this podcast. Yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit of football again. You know, getting you guys excited. Less than 3 weeks away from the draft. That means our rookie draft is around the corner. It's going to dramatically impact the way that we look at our draft picks and also look at these players depending on where they go on draft night. Because some of these names sound incredible. But once you attach them to some teams, how are we going to feel about some of these names on this board? That is the question that we will be answering in the next month.
Listen.
And you can feel free to throw your Mania predictions in there in between because we're covering
I'm not totally
covering it all.
I am not totally amped up for this draft class either. I don't think it's as great as everybody wants it to look like.
Well, we've been talking about this draft class for a couple months now. And we've pinpointed the fact that this isn't the ideal draft class for getting your quarterback, per se.
No, this is not a quarterback class.
And realistically, it's a pretty weak wide receiver class, too.
If Shador and Jackson
what up, Drew?
go off, I'll apologize on this. I have no qualms of saying, "Oh, I always believed it." I'm like, no, I don't. I already apologized 2 years ago for Josh Allen when I thought he was the drizzling shits coming out of college. Like, go look up at his college stats, and it's like, where do you see elite from? I was wrong.
In fairness, that first year when he was playing, he was doing a lot of wonky. The best word is
Dude,
wonky.
his
wonky
last
stuff,
year
bro.
in college, he only threw for like 1,500 yards. His completion percentage was like 40%. Like, come on, guys.
And now he is the man.
Yeah, like I'll admit it.
Man. Listen, we know he's not going to beat the Chiefs. We know that. We still love Josh Allen on this podcast. You know, we are pro Bills on this podcast. And it doesn't mean we're picking them to go all the way anymore. We've jumped off that bandwagon. But at the end of the day, we all play fantasy here. You know, we all have a certain investment in that football team. And we all, you know, we want them to win a couple games because that equals fantasy points and money in our pockets. It's getting scary at the QB position for multiple NFL teams. And it is going to continue to be scary because as of right now, coming out of this draft class, there's only 2 names we know for sure as far as top picks. Everything else is literally a dart throw. You know, and don't forget about that guy Milrow. Just saying. I'm just saying. I know you guys don't like him, but just throw it out.
This is my first mock draft I've ever done where I didn't do a trade.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's how uncertain everything is, though.
Yeah.
Like, you really don't know who's going to make that
trade. My
trade.
man put Shawn Michaels in the sharpshooter for 33 seconds.
The real sharpshooter, too.
Yeah.
You know, that's a real sharpshooter that he's
33 seconds, bro.
Those guys up front. Tap, tap. Tap.
You just noticed that.
Shawn Michaels is not tapping to that shit, bro.
And everybody's looking at the clock. Like, oh my God, what happens if he doesn't give up?
In the background, we're watching Mania 12, the main event between Shawn Michaels and Bret the Hitman
I never
Hart.
noticed those guys screaming tap. Like it's a UFC fight.
You gotta love it, bro. It's the little things. You go back and watch the same thing 50 times and you'll notice different things every single time.
Where Bret gets all the way at the end, he's like, bullshit.
Michael's no, that's why he didn't feel it.
Gorilla Monsoon's first appearance since getting Vader bombed.
That turnbuckle bump that he used to do where he'd flip off the fucking that was crazy.
Yo, look,
bro.
Bret grabbed the belt and hauled ass.
But you know what though? The Bret Hart turnbuckle bump was equally crazy.
Yo.
With the chest first, that was wild. Like, that was jaw dropping as a kid. It was like, damn, dog. I know that shit aired him out. Like, I know that aired his ass out. Nonetheless, ladies and gents, the Titans are on the clock with the 101. I wrote the name down because I feel like my team's gonna do the right thing. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm hoping against hope that we end up doing the right thing. What's going on, Chris? Chris has chimed in.
All right, so Mike, I'm gonna start after my 5 picks. Mike, put your 5 picks in.
Let's do it.
And
We're live, baby. We're live.
Entiende.
We are live in living color, baby. So, Oscar,
who
lay it on us.
Do the Tennessee Titans select with the first overall selection in the 2025 NFL Draft? It's fairly simple. They are taking quarterback Cam Ward. The only guy that I think that shows elite traits of a quarterback that has splash written all over him, leadership. He has the size. He has the accuracy. I truly believe he's going to be the guy that's he's gonna turn into a very good NFL player. So I think the Titans don't risk it. Take the for sure bet unless you don't feel comfortable with Cam Ward and someone's offering you the farm.
It has to be the whole farm.
Someone like
cows,
someone
the pigs,
like the
chickens,
Jets, someone like the Saints. You know, like one of those guys. Maybe the Raiders, even though they got Geno, like maybe you sit him behind. Like I don't know, but at this moment, I just see the Titans standing put and selecting Cam Ward.
Cam Ward to the Tennessee Titans. He is not going to be the quick fix to all of our problems, but I believe that he is a good start. I think that this Tennessee Titans team could potentially be a good spunky team, maybe a years away from the actual playoffs. But nonetheless, Cam Ward is the right move to make in this situation. I'm all for it. I love it. There's no other pick out there besides that boy from Penn State, Abdul Carter, who would be acceptable at this spot. And between those two players, Cam Ward, to me, is the highest value for my football team.
Yeah, I mean, if the Titans pick Abdul Carter number 1 overall, no one can truly get mad at them.
You
But
can't,
that also
but then
means
it's like,
you don't believe in Cam Ward. And maybe you're trying to trade back in.
Yeah, it just opens up more chaos
and
to the
try to
actual
grab a guy
draft.
like Dart or Shador.
And then you're talking about Cam Ward potentially falling into the lap of an undeserving organization like the Cleveland Browns.
The boy hunting.
Or, like, dude, if we don't take Cam Ward at 101, do the Giants trade up to 102 and say, F this? Are you kidding me? You know, those rooms ain't that far apart. Everybody's together in this arena drafting. Like, it ain't that hard to call up Cleveland and be like, yo, what do you want? What do you want besides the 103?
Not Cleveland will take Cam Ward, I think.
If he fell, you think they'd take him right there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's nothing to think about. There's nothing to even think about.
And with that said,
because for them, Browns are officially
now
on the clock here on the Money Sports.
And the Browns are going to do what I anticipate the Browns to do. They're going to take the safe pick here, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to take Abdul Carter and pair him off with none other than the guy who said he wanted to win. 2 weeks later, he took the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Proved that winning wasn't everything.
I'm here to win. Wait, they're offering how much? But honestly, though, I mean, realistically, can you blame them?
No.
They're offering me how much?
I'm signing too.
No matter what? Yeah.
So
our offer players getting paid.
Abdul Carter's going to be on the other side of Myles Garrett, and that's going to be a formidable force.
Abdul Carter, Penn State, baby.
So anybody that was hoping that he fell to number 3, Giants fans, it's not happening.
Patriots fans, it's not happening. It's not happening. It's the New York Football Giants' turn. One of the most trending topics on this podcast for so many reasons. You know, you had Hard Knocks. You had the year that we saw before us, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, everything that encompasses what has been a complete debacle for this team. You know, coaches and GMs are trying to save their asses right now out there. So this is a huge pick at 103. How do you see it playing out?
Isn't this where he gets pissed because Earl's taking too long to put the belt on him?
This is where he tells Earl to tell Bret Hart to get the fuck out of the ring.
He already did.
Tell him to get the fuck out of here.
Look, he's still waiting for Earl.
He's getting pissed, dude. Pissed. That's the pills. That's pissed.
With the 3rd overall selection, the New York Football Giants select wide receiver / cornerback Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter. I know one Giants fan.
So make sure
that
you're letting him play both sides or he's going to retire.
I know one guy for sure who's going to be very happy with that.
Who would that be?
At 103. None other than our boy Alex, bro. I know he'd love that pick. The other Giants fans I know, I don't know. Not so
How you
much.
like that, Chris?
Interesting.
How you like that, Mikey? Tell me.
Interesting. So you don't have Shador Sanders going to the New York Football Giants. So now we're having a conversation about how far down the board does Shador Sanders fall. Very, very interesting.
We're going to find out.
Travis Hunter to the New York Giants, huh?
Yeah. How do you like that?
So
is that what you wanted?
That you're basically, Russ is the starter. We're
Yes.
going out. It's Russell Wilson this year. Maybe a little bit of J-Mo. Mostly Russell Wilson.
Him and Paul. Poor Hunter, feel bad for him already.
I'm thinking a 6-11 type of feel.
Damn, Mikey only got through
team.
3, but okay.
Mikey's dropping his right now. He's not wasting
All right,
time.
Mikey got Cam Ward to the Titans. Browns taking Travis Hunter. Oh, this feels like a homer stuff. This feels like when I used to do my drafts.
Abdul Carter to the Giants.
Abdul Carter to the Giants. Will Campbell to the Patriots. Jaguars select Mason Graham, defensive tackle. Sorry, I have my pick skewed up, but I would hate either one of the Colorado boys.
So
I want Carter, but Hunter ain't a bad pick. I don't want Sanders. Well, my next pick for the Patriots would be Mason Graham, defensive tackle.
Mason Graham, adding to that loaded defense.
Which it's funny because
those trenches are going to be nasty.
Mikey's picks, his last 2 picks, I have them, but in a different order.
Switch them around.
He has Mason Graham going to the Jaguars and Will Campbell going to the Patriots. I have Mason Graham going to the Pats, and I have Will Campbell, the offensive tackle, going to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who desperately need to protect Sunshine.
Yeah, we gotta protect him, man. He's been banged up already.
But the Mason Graham pick, to me, is a spot-on pick for the Patriots with new head coach Mike Vrabel. I don't think the Patriots can go wrong on either side. I agree with that. I just tend to lean towards the defensive side because of Vrabel.
That's interesting. So you don't have Tet McMillan going to the Patriots?
No, I do not. Oh, Tet drops.
Okay.
Tet dropped in my, which I know I'm crazy. He's probably going to go higher, but I'm trying to I think Tet's being a little overhyped, but that's just me.
And also that fits the narrative because of the fact that Tet McMillan is part of a wide receiver draft class that is a little lacking. So when you're the best
Speaking of the draft
in
class,
that position,
that draft class took a hit this past week with the untimely passing of Kyron Lacey.
yeah.
We all know Kyron Lacey had a lot of controversy around him with the whole hit and run and the death of an older gentleman. I'm not excusing Kyron Lacey at all for those actions. He should have faced the consequences for those actions. It's just a shame that he took his life because it was all eating up. Like we talk about, damn, everybody's just going after this kid. You don't think a young kid like that's thinking in the back of their head, yo, I killed somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know what
we're all human.
We don't know what remorse he felt,
Yeah.
It's easy to knock,
a
person and judge their wrongs, but we don't really know what was obviously there was nothing good happening inside his mind.
Not at all. So I just want to take the time to say, it's a sad situation all the way around. Everybody, all families included.
Draft super deep at O-line. I think all top 5 teams can pass on O-line early and still get a stud in the 2nd and 3rd round. So that's a relief because I'd love to get somebody for the trenches.
All right, Chris Walski, are you still with us, Chris? It's time for the Jets to pick.
Wait, no, isn't it the Jags?
Oh, I'm sorry, the Raiders.
No, Jags.
Oh, I just told you, Jags picked Will Campbell because me and Mikey.
Okay, Will Campbell. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, because me and Mikey.
The flipperoo.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'm caught up. We're good.
So, number 6 overall, the Raiders are selecting. I got them taking Jalen Walker, linebacker / edge, somebody to help pair with Crosby because he needs it. Get him somebody on the other side of him that can help do some damage. I think this kid's going to be really good.
Interesting for a team that really doesn't have a quarterback.
Well, they got Geno.
Well, they got Geno. You know what? Yeah.
They're going to run it with Geno.
You're right. But, that was my mistake. I forgot that they got Geno Smith.
That's right. This was the Chicago street fight.
They've got Pete Carroll out there, you know. So, yeah, they are going to try to go out there and run it with Geno Smith and see what they can do. You know,
I thought about Ashton Jeanty here at this spot. But the Raiders defense, it needs help. Give some help to the other guy there that needs it.
As we get closer to the draft, you know, the idea of
all right, Chris.
The idea of Jeanty going to the Raiders or the Bears sounds more and more like that could be the thing, you know, like it could happen. I could see that. I could see that being reality.
I got the Jets selecting Armin Membo. I hope I said his last name right. Offensive tackle. Got to build that offensive line.
Membo.
Yeah, M-A or M.
O-line.
I can't even read my own writing. That's crazy.
O-line for Justin Fields.
Protect him.
Protect your QB.
Just gave him all that guaranteed money, right?
Gave him guaranteed money. You've got a young offense. You've got an RB1. You've got a wide receiver 1.
He's all
Chris is all about it.
It's been one of the weakest links on this Jets team.
Mikey has the Raiders going QB, but the media is saying Jeanty for the Raiders.
So what QB you got them picking, Mikey? Shador or Jackson Dart?
Shador, right? We got them going Shador. Would that involve like a trade potentially for the
Raiders? In my mock, he would be available for them. Nice. And according to Mikey's mock so far, he'd be available for him as well.
Armin Membo.
So that leaves us
with the Panthers.
Yep. Next. And they're going to select Michael Williams, edge.
Michael Williams.
This is just a Panthers pick right here. Let's ignore all of the offense. Let's act like the offense doesn't matter. And let's just keep tacking on the defense.
Well, you've got Chuba Hubbard, right? You've got Bryce Young, who wasn't going anywhere. And you've got some young, skilled wide receivers at that
after
position.
Bryce Young came back from being benched, he played pretty good football.
I'll tell you what. This football team passes up on a wide receiver in the first round. I know that if you are, like myself, an owner of Jalen Coker, Xavier Leggett, you're feeling pretty damn good because you're saying to yourself, these young boys are going to be out there getting opportunities.
All right, so Mikey's picks. He has the Raiders taking Shador. The Jets also selecting Armin Membo. There's the proper way to say it. That is an E. I got to spell my E's better. Panthers selecting Jalen Walker. All right. Saints selecting Jihad Campbell. And Bears selecting Michael Williams.
Okay. So he's got him falling.
So I got Michael Williams.
Slots
at the 8th spot.
Okay.
He's got Jalen Walker. Well, of course, Jalen Walker's going to fall 2 spots because he took Shador for the Raiders. I think if the Panthers don't trade their pick, they should go defense.
What would they even trade their pick for? You know,
Furness and LaFon. Wow.
Team Canada. The Blackjacks.
I was just about to say that.
The Headbangers. Look at the tag team division. The state of the tag team division in early '97. That's why Owen and Bulldog have the belts.
My next team is the New Orleans Saints.
Always in debt.
And they're going to take
out for the year.
Shador Sanders will be a New Orleans Saint, according to my mock draft.
Sanders falls to the New Orleans Saints, which I feel like would be very lucky for them to have him fall with everything going on, knowing that Carr is probably not going to be there this year. What are the odds that
Olave,
you potentially
Kamara,
draft your future quarterback? And would you say the Saints are a better situation for Shador than some of the names in that 3rd, 4th, 5th hole, realistically?
I would, yeah. I think Shador falling here to the Saints isn't a bad spot. I think it would be a pretty good thing for him. Yo, Barry Windham actually grew that mustache. That's crazy.
Mikey says, Panthers GM has been very open about them potentially trading back, which would be an interesting conversation because the Panthers, like the Raiders, are just one of those teams that would just be able to create utter chaos. Spencer Rattler season. You kidding me?
Ain't happening, dog.
Spencer Rattler season?
If Shador Sanders is there at number 9, there's no. He's going to the Saints.
And I put next to his name right here a great
And
value
here's the pick that Elon's been waiting for.
The Bears.
Select Ashton Genty, running back.
Ashton Genty to the Bears. I can live with that.
So now you got Caleb Williams.
I can live with that.
Genty. Odunze. DJ Moore.
Yeah.
And why is the damn tight end's name coming into a blank on my mind right now?
Because he didn't do anything last year.
There you go.
He didn't do anything last year. But
that is an offense.
You have got – I've already got DJ Moore and Rome Odunze in our Dynasty League. Getting Ashton Genty would just be me doubling down on a Bears offense that, with the new move of Ben Johnson going over there, I'm kind of feeling it. Man. Because if Caleb Williams is able to reel in some of those overthrows last year, he would have a lot more yards, a lot more touchdowns, better passing rating. And in the eyes of a lot of people, he would have won a lot of people over if he's able to make some of the throws that he makes. Another part of it is the fact that he holds on to the ball too damn long. But those are the types of things that can be adjusted, that can be fixed. And when you have the allotment of weapons that he has around him, even without a Genty, you plug in an Ashton Genty into that equation, and all of a sudden we are talking about a combustible element in this offense. You know, like
right? No, I was talking about the Bears.
The Bears.
So
I like
that
Genty
turns that Bears, offense. Man. You still got Swift. You still got Swift to pair with Genty if this happens.
Look at the year Keenan Allen had.
So
in that offense.
Who did Keenan Allen sign with? He's still a free agent.
I don't know. I don't know if he's
as soon as Saturday ends, that Monday you're going to see a lot of free agents that haven't signed because it doesn't matter now if you're not going to lose your comp picks.
Nope. You're right.
So you're going to see a lot of people sign.
Good point. I forgot about that.
To continue. In the 11th hole, I got Derek Harmon, defensive tackle, going to the San Francisco 49ers.
Harmon to the 49ers, a team that lost a shit ton of pieces on that side of the football, who is most likely going to spend their first-round pick on the best available defensive player. It makes absolute sense.
Because they're in a loose rebuild right now.
Yes.
Next up, the Dallas Cowboys. I got them taking Josh Simmons, offensive tackle. Got to start building those trenches again like they did a couple years ago.
Yeah.
There's no need to reach for a running back right now. You could probably get yourself one in the second round. There's still going to be about four to five of them left because there's about 6 or 7 of them out there that are going to be good and not, there's a lot of teams that already have their running back positions already locked down.
Josh what?
Josh Simmons. Offensive tackle. And I think, Matt, I predict that Travis Hunter will be a New York Giant at the 3rd overall slot.
Travis Hunter.
Since you're joining us pretty late here, Matt.
New York Football
I don't
Giants.
care if you were selling a car. That means absolutely nothing to me. We are more important on Wednesday night starting at 8:15. Find a way to put us on in the dealership.
Dallas going tight end because Jerry loves to pass. So you're thinking Dallas takes one of the Lovelands of the world or the Warrens potentially? Tight end going that high.
That's a possibility.
That would be spicy, bro.
That's a possibility.
Right there. We're talking about one.
I wouldn't be surprised either at that. That's a good point, Paul.
At the 12th overall pick, that's super spicy. I like it. I like spicy stuff on draft.
Tight ends can block.
Yeah. Right about that.
Okay, here, Mikey's beating me to the punch again, but that's okay. That's what we want. The Niners select Jody Barron. Cowboys select Ashton Genty. Dolphins select Josh Simmons. Colts select Calvin Banks. and the Falcons select Mike Green.
Okay.
I got the Dolphins selecting Will Johnson, cornerback.
I'm writing down Paul's pick for the Cowboys right now just to document that. Got Mikey's picks, and now you have the Dolphins selecting who? What's the Dolphins pick here?
Will Johnson, cornerback.
Will Johnson.
Especially with the news of Jalen Ramsey potentially being traded within the next week, which the Dolphins make no sense. They paid him his bonus. They're on the hook for some of his salary this year. They're on the hook for his cap. And you're going to what are you guys? How is that GM still employed? Frank the Tank hates him.
Yeah, he wants him gone. He wants him gone.
He wants Chris Greer fired like it was yesterday.
He wants him gone. Right now, the Dolphins are the thing that he is a Dolphins and a Mets fan, but he's cutting more negative promos about the Dolphins at this point than he is about the Mets because of the fact that the Dolphins have just been. We've lived it. We've seen it. They're one of the most high octane offenses.
Alexi sighting. Will Johnson is a great player. Hey,
high octane offense like the Dolphins, fall short the way that they have last couple of years. Tua, Tyreek Hill this past year, him not being the typical Tyreek Hill that we have grown accustomed to, and what he brings to the table. And Jalen Waddle's always going to be Jalen Waddle, an injury-prone guy who's going to give you a couple of 40-point weeks, and then the other times you're just going to be talking yourself into trying to start him because you don't know what he's actually going to be. The Dolphins have yet to be what we thought they were going to become. Their shot to win this division has closed just like the Bills' shot to win a championship. I feel, you know what I mean?
I was booking the Dolphins strong the last couple of years, and they disappointed me.
Those windows closed at the same time. Yep. And it's weird how it happens, but it's just the reality of the situation.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I got 14. We keep talking about tight ends. Well, I got the Indianapolis Colts selecting Colston Lovelace, tight end.
Colston Lovelace.
A weapon for either Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson.
Both next year, because I could see Richardson getting benched again because they've already ruined his confidence. And if Daniel Jones doesn't perform, we could see Richardson coming back. But I have a feeling that Jones is not going to do too bad when his number is called.
Yeah,
with this team. But we'll see.
Yep, I agree.
We'll see.
And
right?
I think Colston Lovelace would be a great addition into that team to match with those wide receivers. It'll help relieve some pressure off of Pittman. Maybe Pittman could get back to being Michael Pittman again.
Maybe,
because it was not a good season last year. I should know. Next, I got the Atlanta Falcons selecting Jahi Barron, cornerback. Where Mikey had him at number 11, I had him at 15 to the Falcons.
Okay. So they once again have a premier cornerback in Atlanta. Seem to always have at least one really good one.
At number 16, the Arizona Cardinals select wide receiver Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden, going before Ted McMillan, huh?
Yeah, I got
Holy
so
shit.
That's 2 wide receivers in the first round in back-to-back years for the Arizona Cardinals. So that becomes, this is like, hey, we're trying to give you weapons, Kyler. Like, let's go.
Yeah, let's get the ball rolling here, buddy.
Marvin Harrison Jr. should instantly become wide receiver 1 now. Matthew Golden should be immediate wide receiver 2. Listen, I understand like what Colston Lovelace to the Colts is happening, Mikey. The Colts owner is not going to care about They didn't care about protecting Andrew Luck. What makes you think they're going to care about protecting Anthony Richardson or DJ?
They can't protect Richardson. They already ruined him. There's no protecting him.
So I really like.
There's nothing to protect.
This would be a great thing for Kyler to have 2 top-tier wide receivers. I think Golden could be a very good wide receiver in this league. I like his size. I like his speed. He's a good route runner. This should work.
I like it for Marvin Harrison and everything that, we all want him to become eventually.
Yep. And
it's a good start for him.
At the 17th pick overall, the Cincinnati Bengals give Joe Burrow some protection. Gray Zabel, offensive line. Because you might as well build your trenches in this draft because you ain't got no money to go buy other people with all the money you just unloaded into 3 players. And you know me, I've been infiltrating some pages. There's some Bengals fans that weren't happy with the contract Higgins got. They'd rather have gone to either defensive line or offensive line.
Well,
we'll find out, though.
They wouldn't have been happy to let T. Higgins walk somewhere else either. You weren't going to make everybody happy.
Yeah. So
that's wild if Arizona does
so
that.
Basically,
so Alex is saying that's a spicy pick for the Arizona Cardinals to make based on the state of things in Arizona. Would one more wide receiver be the solution for a football team that always tends to be in that type of 8 and 9 fringe category of just leaning
the
one way?
Headbangers won a WrestleMania match?
The Headbangers went over at WrestleMania 13.
Wow.
They did. That was their moment. Did they even get the belts? They got a title shot, right?
Yeah.
Owen and Bulldog got the belts here.
So
what's going on, Chris?
With the 18th selection in the draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Malachi Starks, safety.
Safety for
Bengals need defensive players. They can't stop anything. I get it, Paul, but they also need someone to protect Joe Burrow.
They're just one of many teams that have a lot of needs at this point in time, it's safe to say, honestly. When you look at, what's going on with Cincinnati, and like you said, the money that was allocated where it was, this is a big draft for that football team. And, you got to be able to hit on your picks.
Yep.
That's a very common phrase, but for a team that doesn't have the money to spend on talent, you got to hit on those picks to make up for the fact that you don't have the money to spend. So, Malachi Starks, safety to the Seahawks.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a Seahawks play. Defense, we know.
Gotta agree with Seattle.
So,
safety, just not sure who. That's definitely a Seattle pick. Getting somebody for the secondary, middle of the draft.
With the 19th overall selection, the Los Angeles Chargers select tight end Tyler.
The Bucks are next.
Oh wait, are they?
Yeah, the Bucks are next.
I thought they were 22.
No.
Hold on.
It's Tampa Bay. I got Tampa Bay, Denver, Pittsburgh, then the Chargers. Unless I got my shit mixed up here. But I'm pretty sure I've got it Bucks, Broncos, Steelers, Chargers.
Yeah, you're right. I screwed up. What the? It ain't gonna matter because I'm gonna keep my picks the same.
Luckily, I'm here.
All right, so I got the Bucks taking Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle.
Okay.
Another piece for that defense. They like their defensive players.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, they don't need much on offense.
They have it all already.
Yeah.
They got a premier running back in Bucky Irving, a great backup in Rashad White.
Yeah.
Still got Mike Evans. You got young, talented wide
Chris
receivers.
Godwin.
Baker Mayfield.
Jaleel McMillan.
Discount virtually, So, I can dig that.
So, Mikey's got the Cardinals selecting Gray Zabel. The Bengals selecting Will Johnson. Seahawks selecting Josh Connolly Jr. The Bucks selecting Donovan Azaraku. And the Broncos taking Omarion Hampton.
How do you feel about that one? It's a name that's near and dear to your heart going into the draft. Omarion Hampton to the...
I would rather build through the trenches, but the reason why, you'll see. Regardless, so the Bucks take Kenneth Grant. I have the Broncos selecting Emeka Obaka. I hope Emeka Obaka. I don't know how to say his name. I'm so sorry if I'm saying your name.
I know you're talking about
The wide receiver from Ohio State. Broncos need wide receivers, guys. I don't know if you know this, but Cortland Sutton's getting up there in age.
28, 29, spring chicken. Coming off of he missed a year based off of a
And it took a
serious
while
injury.
for him to get back to who he was.
I mean, he's a stud. He's a dog, but, you do need somebody else out there, and these other young cats that they've drafted in the last couple of years aren't looking like the it. Whoa, scratch that. I'm sorry. I apologize to Marvin Mims. Marvin Mims is the wide receiver 2 out in Denver as of right now. But, wide receiver
could
3,
take that over.
Yeah, wide receiver 3, yeah, or wide receiver 2. Could
I have
take that spot.
the Pittsburgh Steelers selecting Omarion Hampton, running back, North Carolina.
Look at that.
Do I want them? Do I want them picking a running back in the first round? No, but I got a feeling that's what the hell they're going to do. The only way they don't do that is if Kenneth Grant, who I just gave to the Bucks, is there. If Kenneth Grant's there, they're taking Kenneth Grant. If Kenneth Grant and Omarion Hampton, if Kenneth Grant's gone and Omarion Hampton and Shedeur Sanders there, the Steelers will take Shedeur Sanders. If Shedeur is there.
I got Steelers going safety. Interesting.
Next up is the Packers, right? Oh, no, the Chargers now, right?
Chargers, yep.
I have the Chargers taking Tyler Warren, tight end.
Tyler Warren. Ooh, I like that for my boy Justin. I like that.
Steelers select Jackson Dart. Go to hell, Mikey.
I'm guessing that Oscar doesn't like that pick, Mike.
Imanawari, I have read.
Ooh, I like that.
I have read Imanawari is high on the Steelers draft board. I can confirm that.
You guys are agreeing on the Tyler Warren pick.
Yeah.
Right? It's looking like.
And
Malachi starts to the Vikings.
Me and Mikey also agree on the Packers. I have Tet going to the Packers.
I like that. I like that pick for the Packers. I don't know, that would be, exciting for RJ. The Green Bay Packers getting themselves a true, wide receiver since, according to Jacobs, they need a wide receiver 1. Maybe this could be it right here. Figured I'd get that reaction. Good shit, Mike. Good shit for adding that in there. Oh man.
But we agree on the Chargers pick. We agree on the Packers pick. Number 24, I got the Vikings selecting the safety that Paul said the Steelers should pick. Nick Imanawari, safety. And if they select a safety, this is going to be Minkah Fitzpatrick's last year there. They're probably going to trade him. Because there's no way you're picking a safety this high and you're still going to keep Mink.
Yeah. One of those things that happened on draft night that's very telling as far as the future for other players.
That tells you everything you need to know.
That's one of those pressure moments on draft night.
I think that's what will happen too. If Shedeur Sanders falls to 21, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to take Shedeur.
Aaron Judge,
because there's people in that in the know of the Pittsburgh Steelers front office that believe Shedeur would fit Arthur Smith's scheme perfectly.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Number 25, the Houston Texans selecting Tyler Booker, offensive tackle. This is where the draft started to because a lot of these names I'm throwing out there now might not be picked in the first round, could be picked in the second round. Since we're that close, you know what I mean? But I do have the Detroit Lions 26 overall taking edge, Shamar Stewart.
Shamar Stewart.
I think
the Rams right here.
Not. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's not the Lions? I thought the Lions were there.
Who'd you get? A Temu list or something?
Dude, I don't know.
Shamar Stewart.
Regardless, Shamar Stewart, I'm picking for the Lions.
Yeah, I got Rams, Ravens, Lions, Commanders, Bills, Chiefs, Eagles.
Yeah, you're right.
Round it off.
I have that. Well, I'll give you the Rams pick right now.
Oh, Hearn. Thank you, sir.
Jackson Dart to the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay. Jackson Dart to the Rams.
Matt Stafford ain't a young chicken, guys. He's probably got 2 years max left in him. And Jackson Dart, is he a project? Probably. But I trust a guy like Sean McVay to construct him into a good NFL quarterback. You trust guys like Sean McVay to unlock the potential of certain players, especially when their skill set is how they know how to call games offensively and they know how to get a quarterback in the right position, guys like that.
Okay.
So I really believe that would be a great landing spot for Dart. He could sit there and he could learn from one of the best to ever play the game in Matt Stafford.
Okay. Shamar Stewart is going to the Lions, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
And I got the Baltimore Ravens selecting James Pierce Jr., edge.
James Pierce Jr. James Pierce Jr., defense that was good at stopping the run last year.
And now I'm going to wait for Mikey.
So,
all right, Mikey, type your picks in.
You know, in the meantime, Aaron Judge just hit a bomb to take a 4-3 lead. Ryan O'Hearn also just hit a bomb. The Giants are pouring it on to the Phillies right now, 11-4.
Damn, for real?
Yeah. You've got Red Sox and Rays 1-0 in a drool fest out there. Baltimore up 8-1 on the Cleveland Guardians. And the White Sox up 1-0 on the Sacramento Athletics. And our matchup, I believe, is still 4-7 because our guys aren't doing none of that,
bro.
Our guys aren't involved in any of that. So it is still a score of
7-4.
Eagles getting an edge rusher, whoever falls to them.
All right, Mikey put his up. Rams select Benjamin Morrison, cornerback.
RJ, go Lakers. Awesome.
Ravens select Kenneth Grant. Lions select Tyler Booker. Washington selects James Pierce. Bills select Ibuka. Chiefs select Walter Nolan. Eagles select nobody. F them University. RJ, how do you feel about me and Mike picking Tet to you guys?
I think that, you can't be mad at that. Best wide receiver on the board for a team that, kind of needs it. You can't be mad at that. He knows what it is with that team. He's off the Christian Watson train at this point. I like they make a pick for Buffalo.
Bro, he was off the Christian Watson train. That first game, Watson dropped that bomb that Rodgers threw to him.
Yeah. That was a couple years back. He was done, yeah.
Christian Watson's first game.
He was done.
RJ was done with him after that.
Done, bro. You're right. We all saw it.
He was over it then.
We all saw it. We witnessed it with our own eyes. Sometimes it happens fast. All right, so what do you got the Commanders doing here?
I have the Commanders taking Donovan Ezirako, edge.
Ezirako. Just winging it here as far as the spelling for this.
Pistons in 6, bud. Remember this. Oof.
Bills next on the clock.
Hat was thrown that day.
Yeah, it was. Slammed his hat on the ground. It was opening day.
Yeah, it
That was
was.
opening day for the NFL. Like we were all hanging out right here.
That was the Steelers beating the Bengals in overtime.
Yeah, good times. Very, very good times. All right.
Now I got the Buffalo Bills taking Siobhan Ravel, cornerback.
On Bell. Okay. Siobhan Ravel to the Bills.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And I also have
Chiefs.
the Chiefs selecting offensive lineman Caleb Etienne from BYU, Andy Reid's alma mater. And with the 32nd overall selection, the Eagles select Walter Nolan, defensive tackle, because Howie loves those trenches. He loves those defensive linemen.
I mean, it's been paying off for him.
What does he says he has an insatiable taste for linemen.
Yeah. Hey, that's not a bad pick at all, especially for them.
Nope.
I think that's a great pick.
Just keeps their line even more fresh.
All right. Okay.
Kid set the whole tone for the season in one play. What a jackass. Now he has a torn ACL. My Phillies suck. Done watch until Bowman Marsh are gone.
Yeah, Phillies are getting dog walked right now by the Giants. A good Giants baseball
I don't get
team,
it.
by the way. Phillies bullpen looks like they really – Nola had a little bit of a rough time, but the Phillies bullpen definitely had an even rougher time with these Giants bats. And the Giants are going to score runs, bro. This is their MO. This is what they've been doing. You know, we're talking about a team that's been winning a lot of baseball games. We're talking about a team that is in the same division as the Dodgers, as the Padres, and they are looking every bit as deadly as those two other teams. Yeah, that NL West is looking like a real dogfight because you got the Arizona Diamondbacks in there too. Yeah.
Bro, they turned Rikishi into the Sultan, bro.
They turned the Sultan into Rikishi. He had no future until he became. He actually like he was like in fit shape here.
I'm sorry, Fatu.
Yeah. Yeah, do the right thing or something. Wasn't that on his jacket?
Yeah.
Do the right thing. Like positive.
And there's the Iron Sheik slapping on
It was just one of those guys.
The camel clutch to the rock. Well, Rocky Maivia.
One of those guys that you bring to the school to set the kids straight.
Bro, it's crazy because
gimmick.
And there's Rocky Johnson.
Rocky Johnson.
The Soul Man.
That crowd is not popping for this.
They
look at the crowd,
because
bro.
they hated Rock at the time.
Look at them. They are not moving for this, bro. They're not reacting. This is supposed to be a big moment here.
Yep.
It's falling on deaf ears.
He's protecting his son.
That was a rough time. It was a rough time, bro. Early 97. I'm in prime home run seats. It's so crazy. May 3rd when
so as you noticed, guys.
Yeah.
As you noticed, I didn't do any trades. However, I created a section on my notes called potential trades.
Okay.
I didn't actually make a trade. I'm just saying teams that could be on the move. There's potential for Dallas to try to move up and get Genty if they feel like that's who they want and that's who they need. I feel like that could be a possibility, which would suck on their part.
Do we truly in our hearts believe that they are going to do that, though? I'm inclined to believe that they're going to go with the pick that you made for them as far as building within the trenches and not necessarily doing anything super exciting on actual draft night itself. That to me feels like more of a reality than the Dallas Cowboys not only trading up, but trading up to take none other than Ashton Genty. Like that's too much of a power move for a Cowboys team that, I'm sorry, you know, they seem to have lost their balls when Troy Aikman walked out of the room. You know, July 26th, Sandlot Boys take over the Bronx. Can't wait. Phillies versus Yankees. It's going down in the Bronx this year. The one time we get to face each other. Got to make that shit count. Because now, MLB wants everybody to play everybody.
So
Dallas doesn't care about the run.
So
Jerry wants to air it out all the time.
here's another thing.
You ain't wrong about that.
So New York selects Travis Hunter, right? That's what I have in mind.
Mm-hmm.
What if Shador doesn't get picked by the Saints? And Shador continues to drop back and back. Do the Giants move back into the first round with one of those teams in the teens, or the Bucks, or a team before Pittsburgh, and picks Shador Sanders?
So I know you didn't have an actual trade in your mock, but do you have like a team most likely to trade on draft night? You know, just come like we've talked about it before. We've had the conversation. But I'm just saying, like,
The Eagles.
if you had to pick anybody, the Eagles
They love trading in the first round.
trade up or trade back.
I could see them trading up. They love that shit.
Okay.
I also had Pittsburgh trading out of the first round as a possibility. Maybe the Pittsburgh doesn't like what's there at the first round and they try to move back to get a second round pick and a first for next year
Okay.
to load up on the 2026 picks. Because if they definitely don't take a quarterback and they trade back into the second round,
Good point, Chris. Giants have too many holes to be trading picks away.
I'm just saying
Could potentially
it's a possibility.
We could see a conservative draft. Everybody holding on to their picks. Right
Joe
now.
Sheen's not the most competent GM in the world.
You know, the Bears up the price and the Eagles are out, according to him. That's you know, he doesn't know how true that is.
You don't pay a guy $40 million to
Yeah.
hand off to a $12 million running back.
Oh, infamous.
Enough of that.
Infamous. This is why we have divisions now and Hard Knocks together, because you can't have the camera in one place for too long.
Whoa.
Something's bound to happen.
The Falcons trying to trade up maybe to get a better offensive lineman.
True.
Maybe not standing pat and taking a defensive player. Maybe they move up to get some line help.
True.
To help
This could
protect
happen.
Michael Penix.
This could happen.
Okay, I'm out of here.
We're done. We're done, bro. We're done.
We're done.
We're done. We're done. It's all right.
And like I said on my notes here, I said the Chiefs or the Eagles may be moving up as well in the draft. Maybe
First of
the
all, watch
Chiefs.
your mouth. Second, if the Browns take Carter, I can see the Giants trading back. Okay.
They're taking Travis Hunter, buddy. If Hunter's there at number 3, they're not trading back, Mike. I'm sorry.
Travis Hunter to the Giants.
Just listen. When Travis Hunter gets selected, just make sure you're tuned in when Colorado retires his jersey.
You're gonna have the hybrid, Mike.
I thought that shit was wild when I read that Colorado's going to retire Sanders and Hunter's. Like, Cordell Stewart won 2 bowl games, finished in the top 10 twice in his college career for them, and his jersey isn't retired.
Colorado's just being ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're living in their own la la
This is what
land right now.
they're like.
Just
Deion.
Yeah. That's exactly. You know, we love you.
They're Andy Bernarding when they first went to Scranton.
It's Hulk Hogan showing up in TNA.
What's up, boss?
And Dixie
what
Carter.
was it? You, me, Brewskis.
Dixie Carter had everybody wearing the fake Manchus, mustaches. All the men. According to Vince Russo, that's what he said they did. They were all wearing Fu Manchu mustaches for Hulk Hogan, bro. Grown adults.
I swear to God, bro.
Oh, yeah. Unbelievable.
Oh. Yeah, like, that was crazy. So that's what I think. I think those are teams that you can watch out for trading. I do think Jackson Dart's going to get picked in the first round. I think the Rams is a perfect spot for him. Shador Sanders can be either pick number 3, he could be pick number 9, pick 21, or dare I say fall out of the first round.
Oh, man. I guess that's going to be one of the big...
I don't think he's going to fall out of the first round. I think someone's going to pick him. He's going to go in the first round. You got teams like Pittsburgh, teams like the Rams. that if he falls and he's there, you're not going to pass up a talented pick like that.
Yeah, he becomes a name that you keep watching to see how far down the board he actually falls. I think Dart is a Saint or a Steeler.
And I think you're wrong.
Jackson Dart to the Steelers. I'd like that. Would be a nice. Because you gotta understand some of these names that may not look as sexy right now or as appealing. They might look a little bit better post draft when we're sitting there getting ready to do our rookie draft. Depending on those landing spots.
Well, there's a couple people who pick quarterbacks in our league.
All of a sudden, you start reconsidering your thought process and say to yourself, "Well, this ain't so bad."
I think Dart's a Steeler, well, Travis Hunter's a Giant, so deal with it. Deal with Colorado boys coming to New York.
As long as Cam Ward the Titan, I'm good with every other scenario you guys are putting out there right now. I'm okay with it. I can live with it. It's all good in the hood, baby. Well,
Gold Dust.
This is right before he leaves his wife and gives up on his family or something, right? That's his gimmick. He's trying to. He lights his outfit on fire or something. He wants to be Dustin. Thing is, nobody cared about Dustin. All right, that's the problem with that character. Nobody gave a shit. All right, just be Gold Dust.
So this same book, guess what this has?
What?
My NBA predictions from this past.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
I had the Celtics, Magic, Bucks, Hawks, Knicks, Cavs, Pacers, Sixers.
Tough.
The Celtics, Sixers.
It's all right.
Bucks, Knicks. The Knicks and the Celtics winning it. I had Denver, Minnesota, Mavs, Grizzlies, OKC, Golden State, Suns, Lakers. Denver, Golden State, Mavs, Lakers, Denver versus Mavs. We all know why I had the Mavs there. I had Denver beating Boston.
Yeah. Denver beating Boston in the finals. I saw Denver was like plus 3,000 right now to win the finals. I really like that. I mean, because I haven't been watching basketball. If Hunter is a Giant, then Dart is a Steeler. You deal with it.
And that's why you still got Dable and Shine as your damn GM and head coach.
I haven't watched a minute of basketball ever since opening day. It's been a few weeks, and I still haven't watched any basketball. However, the playoffs are approaching, so maybe we'll give you an update on that sometime next week. We will be hanging out for the draft at Wild Wings. They'll probably be having some basketball on there. Maybe we'll peruse that conversation.
My notes for this week: Giants 2-7 for the 6th time in 8 years.
Oh.
DJ finally throws touchdown in MetLife.
God.
Eagles flying underrated. Trade deadline: who won, who lost? And Dallas lost.
Wait, what is that from?
This past season.
This past year? Okay. My Lord. Well.
Oh, this is when I was doing the debate: Daniels or Knicks for rookie.
Celtics won and ready to repeat. Bow to Beantown. Suckers. Maybe they do win it again. This is the best shot to win it again because how many teams are actually in Boston?
They're actually the second seed, too. The Cavaliers ended up getting that first seed.
Yeah, but I don't think the Cavs will beat the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals.
No.
I'd take the Celtics in 5.
The Celtics can eat slop.
So I think Celtics make it out of the East. And then I'm not really sure who makes it out of the West. My Rockets are the 2 seed. I love them, but I don't know if they make it out of the West. I give that to Denver. Maybe the Lakers can do something. I don't know. You got Denver, OKC. Can they finally get over the hump? Like, do we believe in the Timberwolves? There's a lot of variables.
That's a good point.
There's a lot of variables.
Let me go to ESPN real quick.
There's no clear
because I know the Warriors fell all the way into the freaking play-in.
OKC is always a top regular season team in the West, but OKC is going to find themselves in a situation where they're going to have to play Jokic in the playoffs, or they're going to have to face Luka, LeBron in the playoffs. And It may not bode well for
Well,
OKC.
right now the Heat are mollywhopping the Bulls 88-68.
Well, looks like the Heat will be advancing.
And yesterday the Warriors won, so they advanced, and the Magic advanced. So right now you got Rockets Warriors starting April 20th at 9:30.
420.
Lakers Timberwolves April 19th at 8:30. Nuggets Clippers April 19th at 3:30, and the Thunder is still waiting for their opponent.
Yeah, there's mutual interest between Kevin Durant and the Rockets, I saw. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that at this stage in his career. And also what's it gonna cost? Because we look at where
Denver fired their coach, Phoenix fired their Phoenix missed the playoffs.
we look at where
That's crazy.
we look at the Phoenix Suns, where they're at, what they gave up for Kevin Durant and where that got them. So at the end of the day, do we just stay out of that and just rock with what we have, or do we give up key pieces just to get a Kevin Durant
Poor Magic.
towards the end of his career?
They win their play-in, and they're
Clippers are going to be a problem. Clippers are going to be a problem. I can definitely agree with that. Rick favoring the Cavaliers to make it out of the East. Rick is thinking the Cavs actually get past the
Where's
Celtics.
that at?
I don't know. I saw it on here. Maybe he's commenting on the.
Let me go back.
Oh, what's wrong with the Rockets? Green has to stay. I mean, I don't want to lose like an Amin Thompson. I don't want to lose any of that young
Sengun.
core, bro. Like Sengun, Green, Thompson, Tari Eason, like all those guys. I like all those players. I don't want to give any of that up for KD. I wanted KD like 3 or 4 years ago. I said it on this podcast when we had the chance to get him back then. That's when I wanted him. Now, like after everything we've been through, after everything, all the losing seasons that we had after Harden left, 3 bad years, and we finally are getting this shit right. We are the number 2 seed right now without Kevin Durant. So what are you going to do for us, bro? Are you going to be the piece that puts us over the hump to win a championship? And then what pieces are not going to be here? Let me guess. The Suns need picks, right? So we're gonna give up all our picks for this guy, or like
the Bears have just agreed to a 2-year extension with linebacker TJ Edwards for $20 million.
Yeah, see, I'm not feeling a trade that involves any of those 3 guys that I mentioned in order to get him. Ever since he said NY wasn't cool, I said F him. Yeah, he wasn't, bro. Like we are a better team than the team that he's currently a part of in the Suns. We are the number 2 seed, and the Suns ain't even in the picture. The Suns don't even have a first-round pick until 2031. So if we're going to make this deal happen, it needs to be a deal based around draft picks. Naylor,
I wish
Judge,
that was me.
Raleigh. Oh, Naylor did hit one today. That's a great parlay. 5 to win 500. Amazing parlay. Great job. I did all straight bets today. I didn't mess with too many parlays.
I had that.
Maybe I'll try some tomorrow. It'll be baseball day. I'm gonna go buy myself a new pair of sneakers for Florida. So maybe I'll do a couple home run parlays, and hopefully they hit while I'm at the mall getting myself some shoes. Papa needs a new pair of shoes. DraftKings, all right. If you can keep the guys and just give up picks, it might be worth it. Well, for a basketball team like the Suns, who don't have first round picks until 2031, they shouldn't be calling any shots in this equation. You need picks. You ain't got no money. You ain't got no picks. You have no future in Phoenix. You want to build around Devin Booker? We got the picks for days. Thanks, Brooklyn. We'll give you a couple. But if you're talking about giving up players, anything that involves giving up Amin Thompson, Green, Sengun,
I wouldn't give up
I'm
any
out.
of them.
I'm out, bro. Durant's like 38 years old, bro. I'm good. Don't care. I don't care. I'm a Kevin Durant guy, and I'm telling you right now, I don't care. You guys are all young, and you can't sign everyone. Well, you know what? You ride it out until you can't sign everybody, and then you cross that bridge when you get to it. But trading for an over-the-hill KD with injury issues ain't the answer. That ain't going to get us any closer. We're closer to our goal right now than we would be in any other circumstance or situation by signing a KD and bringing him into the mix. He ain't here with us. It's not because of him that we're the number 2 seed. It's because of us. Udoka is the man. He's a great coach. He made a mistake. Now he's got a good young nucleus. And Amen Thompson, who is like one of the breakout players of the year. Jalen Green has been phenomenal. No, don't screw up what took us. It took us 3 years to get back into the mix.
The Daryl Morey destruction.
Look, we went to the Western Conference Finals. We fell apart against the Warriors. It was a decline since then in 2018. We're finally back. We're back in the mix. We're back in the conversation. Don't put yourself in a position that the Phoenix Suns are right now. The Phoenix Suns are a wasteland. They're a total wasteland for no reason. Like, they're just an absolute barren wasteland with nothing to show for their trades. The Suns didn't win a single trade. They got fleeced, just like the Brooklyn Nets did. So
the Brooklyn Nets can't field the team, and the Sixers can't field the team.
I don't want to hear shit about a trade unless it involves picks. Because I'll give up all those picks.
Knicks finals, I'm calling it.
I'll give up all those picks for KD if we don't have to give up players. We'll give you all the picks. Go ahead. Phoenix can't draft anyway. I don't care what you do with those picks. Take them. We don't need them. We already drafted our players. They're here now. They are the number 2 seed in the West. We drafted well. We hit on our picks. We have a good coach. So take those
everybody
picks.
was questioning.
Take those picks, bro. Add them to your.
I remember at one point you were questioning them.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect, but I'm happy now.
I mean, listen, the guy got fired because he was sleeping with a front office person. That's the only reason he got fired from Boston.
And, we
had nothing to do with talent.
We could have, we made a run at the play-in last year, guys. Let's not forget. We could have been in that mix. We didn't get there, but we were close. So this is, it's been building to this point. I like the build for this team, and I'm not about to screw it up for an over-the-hill star player. I don't care. I don't care if I'm a KD fan. I'm a Rockets fan more than I am a KD fan.
KD's soft. And right now, he's not the KD of old. You're getting a player that is honestly past his prime.
Yeah, I don't want that. We don't need past prime players when we have players right now who aren't even in their prime and are a top contender in the Western Conference. These guys are young, bro.
It's going to be interesting how far the Lakers go, man.
Yeah, it always is. They're always going to be an interesting story.
Because now, you're playing top-tier competition now, day in, day out.
It's going to be interesting to see how far Denver goes without
Luka's going to have to play some defense. Yeah, like, all these coaches getting fired is wild to me.
Yeah, like, how far do you go, and then you go that far, and you say to yourself, we didn't need him anyway.
Denver won the championship 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And you fired
Yeah.
Budenholzer gets fired after only 1 year in Phoenix. What?
Yeah, Phoenix was his fault.
Yeah.
Right? What happened in Phoenix was his fault.
What happened is Phoenix was, you got, Bradley Beal, who's always hurt. You got KD, who's always hurt.
Bradley Beal, one of the worst contracts in basketball.
And Devin Booker is just, shit, at this point, Devin Booker is the only guy you can trade to get some value back to help your team.
Well, now they're trying to see how much value they can get for Kevin Durant because in their minds,
they're not going to get.
In their minds, though, they want to build around Devin Booker. Devin Booker is going to be their Kobe. He's going to be their.
That's what it should have been from the rip.
They didn't see it.
Start spreading the news. What's that?
Yankees win. That's what that means.
LeBron is trash.
Yankees win 4-3. A sweep of the Kansas City Royals. A 4-game winning streak for the New York Yankees. Couldn't have come at a better time. Aaron Judge hits another bomb.
China bear hugs her and just
manhandles Reynolds.
Marlena.
Couldn't have come at a better time. The New York Yankees 4-game winning streak. You love to see it. I'll see you down the road, Kansas City, if you guys make it, because this Kansas City team this year cannot score runs. I don't know what's going on with them. This is the most they've scored in any of the 3 games that we've played against them. They've scored a total of 6 runs in 3 games. It's like she was killing her, dog. That was great. And the pedigree on Gold Dust. You're not going over, and We're gonna murder your wife. That's good stuff. Good television. The right choice was made there. Yeah, man. We'll see what happens. The rumor and innuendo, the NBA offseason is bound to be more exciting than the NBA regular season. I will be cheering on my Rockets. First round matchup with the Golden State Warriors. That is
The
very,
Sixers
very
have
fitting.
a 10% chance to get the number 1 pick, 40% chance to pick in the top 4, and 60% chance to pick in the top 6. How you like them odds?
I mean, the odds are even worse when you mix in the fact that the Sixers can't draft for shit. So,
And Daryl Morey already said everybody's coming back.
Everybody is. So that means we're getting PG, Podcast P.
Yeah,
Podcast P is coming back. That's good news, right? Maxie and the dancing TikTok kid.
Well, he got hurt, and he was actually playing pretty well.
Yeah, he was. He was your best scorer at one point. He was your most consistent scorer.
Yeah.
And you ruined them. Yeah, they can't draft for shit. Rumors are fake news if you don't hear it with your own ears. Call back to a very entertaining day in the baseball group chat. Best group chat in the world, in my opinion.
Unlimited warm cookies.
Unlimited warm cookies.
Unlimited omelets at the breakfast buffet.
Book your rooms, baby. Book the rooms. Getting ready for a fun summer of baseball. You know, draft a couple weeks away. Be going live, having some fun from B-Dubs. Give you maybe a little bit of a live reaction post Titans pick. Once I can be able to breathe and enjoy my cold beverage. Knowing that we're off the board, we made the right choice, and talk about, being able to embrace with open arms Cam Ward. A.J. Redick was their best player. He was holding it down for that trash organization. But they're running it back next year. So we'll see what that looks like for them. Shawn Michaels on the internet. Look at that laptop.
That bitch is thick.
Massive. Talking about 1997, baby.
The real part is he has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah, this is a shoot. It's the pills.
HP pill kid.
Well, ladies and gents, a week from today is my birthday, so we will not be going live for the podcast. We will be hanging out April 24th for round 1 of the NFL draft to see what goes down at B-Dubs.
They should have won the tag titles in this match.
It's going to be a fun time.
Even if it was a short reign.
This is a great tag team right here.
Even if it was a short reign, they should have won the tag titles.
This is a great tag team.
You figure out 24 hours later why they didn't win the tag titles.
Yeah.
Because it was all part of the plan.
Yeah, it was all part of the plan.
The Hart Foundation.
Vader and Mankind does a solid pairing right there. That tag team right there could have gone up against Undertaker and Kane any day. And they could have gotten some juice out of that right there.
Oh, yes!
They could have gotten some juice out of that feud with those tag teams. Those 4 monsters, bro. Hell, you could have put Undertaker, Vader, Mankind together. You could have put Undertaker, Kane, Mankind together and called that the Ministry of Darkness with Paul Bearer. That's all you need. 3 guys and Paul Bearer, and they'd wreak havoc on everybody, bro. That's all you needed. They weren't going to give Vader a push like that, but you could have Mankind with the brothers. That's it.
Kane is coming! Your brother's alive!
Yeah, this is pre-Kane. This is before shit gets real for the Undertaker, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached that time on the podcast. We have covered everything that needs to be discussed here tonight. We gave you the round 1 of the mock draft. Next week, we find out how much we get right, how much we get wrong. Baseball is going to be live each and every week. We will be talking football the next couple of weeks as we gear closer to the draft itself. NBA playoffs, WrestleMania week. Busy week.
National Lampoon.
Busy week.
Yeah, conspicuous by his absence next Thursday will be Mikey, who will be in Dog Pound country.
Mr. National Lampoon himself, Mike D.
Chevy
Gonna
Chase.
be out in Cleveland. That was a good one, Chris. Oh man, thank you guys for tuning in. Action-packed episode. We had a lot of fun tonight breaking it all down. Love you guys.
We'll see everybody. Listen, I'll probably get the Buffalo Wild Wings next Thursday around like 7:30ish.
Get there a little early.
I'm gonna try to get there 7:30. Get a table. Let if y'all can make it, make it. And if you're gonna for real make it, like let us know and we'll try to get as many tables as needed.
We'll reserve a spot. We'll be there for the baseball draft. We'll have our little section. Get our tables.
No belts are needed at the draft party.
Maybe I'll bring the belt. The sombrero for sure. Sombrero for sure. Belt questionable. But the sombrero is definitely going to be making an appearance along with the Earl Campbell jersey because this is a serious situation. All hands on deck. We need all.
At least I'm missing the NFL draft and not a fantasy draft.
Oh man, taking vacation shots being taken back and forth. You know, either way, you both got. Well, I was gonna say you both got.
You
your
know
feet
what?
In the sand, but
don't compare Cleveland to Puerto Rico beaches. You know what? You two of you are gonna go 1-on-1 tonight.
There's some
with the Undertaker.
There's some great food out there in that area, bro. Make sure you eat good. Hope you enjoy it with the family, bro. Safe travels to you. Hell, I will be in Florida 48 hours from now. At this time, I will be in Florida. I'll be out in Bradenton. We'll be catching the flight on Friday morning. So there's going to be a lot of moving and shaking going on. Freebirds are going to be all over the map. But nonetheless, I will be back in town.
Shake, rattle, and roll, baby.
I will be back in town because draft night is going to be live. And I want to be with the boys knocking back beers, watching what goes down and seeing what the Tennessee Titans do because the Titans' future will be determined and decided on April 24th. Not to be dramatic.
Not to be dramatic.
You know, that's what we're looking at here.
Until then, guys, you guys have a safe week. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Enjoy your time. Enjoy Easter Sunday with your family. Enjoy WrestleMania weekend with your family.
I don't want KD.
And we'll see you guys in